A good friend of mine has birthday this week, and I thought about a really good birthday present for her, and I didn't have any clue, so I thought and thought and thought and thought. And while I had another binge watching session on YouTube, I stumbled across one of my favorite creators. It's Connor Creates, who made his own paper. And I thought this would be a really cool present for her, because she's really into writing, writes great texts, and even has her own typewriter. And for me, it's a good project I really enjoy making. So I gathered some information how you make your own paper and made myself the plan that I want to do it. And I wanted to make this video or this paper in the most sustainable way I can make. So I tried to buy most of these items in a used way, like it's in German it's called Kleinanzeigen. It's like a Facebook marketplace from some thrift shops or some flea markets, to have it cheap as possible and sustainable as possible. After that, I needed the main ingredients, and this was paper. And even in this case, I went through my neighborhood and went on some treasure trash hunting and collected the paper I will use for my own paper. After gathering all the items we need today, we will start with the first step: cutting our collected wood into tiny pieces and soak them into water. The 10-year-old version of myself would be really happy doing this. And while I was cutting all these papers into thin pieces, I thought, this is really one thing I really love doing. Some cool, funny projects in my workshop and turning them hopefully into something cool other people like. This is truly fulfilling. I'm quite unsure about how many papers I will soak in this box, but I think this is a good amount. Now this has to soak 24 hours, but this is a project where good preparation is key, so we can do some things before we need to wait the rest of the time. And this will be that we are preparing our picture frames, because we will use the deckel and mold paper crafting way. And in this case you need two identical picture frames. On the second frame we will put on some mesh screen. When you put on the mesh screen, make sure that it is tightly stretched on the frame, so you have an even surface. So this is our mold and this is our decal. Combining them, you have decal and mold. So we will cut out of these old blanket pieces that have the exact size of our decal and mold. So now that all the preparation work is done, we optimistically made 14 sheets. I can say, see you tomorrow, guys. 24 hours are finally over. So the next step will be creating the pulp. We will do this by blending our soaked paper and hopefully creating some really good pulp that's texture is really smooth and has no big chunks in it. I'm a little bit excited if this really works. This is such a funny project. I think we successfully created some pulp. And it has a crazy texture and you cannot grab it and put your hands in it. It's as I mentioned before, it's like being a child again. The next step will be is to check if in our pulp are any big chunks left and to get rid of them so we have a nice, as I mentioned before, nice smooth texture. This is a project where time, when you be patient and be precise, you get a better product at the end. Because the next step will be that we put our pulp into the big box of water. Everything we did till now was just the preparation work for the serious shit we do now. So we have some clean water, we have our decal and mold, our pulp and a clean sheet where we later separate the mold from the pulp. Even now, please make sure that there are no big chunks left. Guys, look at this. We made 10 papers on our own and this is so damn cool. These papers will now need to dry and later that day I will put some weight on it so they can flatten. I see you guys tomorrow and then I have some useful information about the process. We will talk about some things we do better next time or you can avoid. So now I had tried making paper. We are upstairs in my living room and before we come to the final results, I want to talk to you about the process itself. Some tips for you guys what you can avoid, because I already figured it out. So tip number one is to make sure that from the decal and mold, the mesh is so tight attached to the frame that even in the middle when you get out the pulp, you have a flat surface. Tip number two is make sure that you blend your pulp really good so you avoid all these big pieces. A tip for you guys, maybe when you are in the process of the decal and mold, you use a hand blender to make sure to get rid of all the big chunks. Tip number three is more pulp is good pulp. While I had my third attempt of making paper, I put all the pulp into the water. This was the best decision ever. I made paper that was so strong and thick that was really nice. So more pulp is good pulp. But now we come to the final results of our paper you all and even myself have been waiting for. I have here 3 different kind of stacks of paper for you guys, and they are stacked in this way up because they separate itself in the quality. We have here an A quality that will be the birthday paper I will send to the good friend of mine. We have here B to A paper. The difference to the A paper is that the A paper is in really good quality. We have it's really thick and has no big cracks in it or other major mistakes. But even the B paper, we call it the B paper, is in a really good shape, and for this will be the paper we will use later for some printing adventure. And then we have the C paper. It's all good, but it's not too thick. It's really thin. When you put it against the sun, you can see through. To make sure that the A and the B paper will work for writing and my typewriter, we will use the C paper for some intense tests. So our test area is prepared. Unfortunately, I'm rather a good painter than a good drawer, so please be patient with my skills. First test done. Now comes the pencil. Not the best, because our paper is mostly gray, but it works. The first small cracks. I think in this area the paper is a little bit thinner than in the rest. Now comes the big permanent marker. Really great. I'm losing myself a little bit. Sorry, this was so much fun painting on it. So here comes the last test, our typewriter. I think even the test with the typewriter worked really well. If I had a typewriter with a good color ribbon in it, I might get some better results. So all 6 tests were successful. I cannot wait to write some letters to a good friend of mine on these papers and even send the birthday package to the good friend of mine. But unfortunately, every project has its ends. So does this video today. I can say thank you for watching this video. I hope I transformed some of the pure joy I felt on this project to you guys through the camera. This was such a cool project. It was so much fun for me, and every time while I was making it, in every single process, I felt like a little child, and this is always a good sign that I'm doing the right thing. So thank you for watching. If you want to see more of me, hit that subscribe button, and I would mean the world to me if you leave a comment if you now will do your own paper. See you in a bit.